Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Iflight Protek25 pusher and also the new Iflight GoCam. So previously on the channel I reviewed the original Protek25 and I wasn't that much of a fan of it. I didn't think it had great flight characteristics and not a great flight time either. I'm much more of a fan of this pusher configuration because it means that we don't have anything obstructing the airflow out. See, a lot of the problems that these Cinewhoops have is that they just don't have enough power to weight. So if you want to do any dives with them and you pull out, then you get this yaw washout. And having a pusher configuration, it helps that because we don't have any airflow disruption. But still, if it doesn't have enough power, then it will still do that. Now, a lot of people say, it's a Cinewhoop, we're only trying to get great video from it anyways. But for me, part of the great video is being able to do different things than something like a Mavic can't do, such as big dives. Now this one, I'm happy to say I didn't have any problems with the flight characteristics, no yaw washout or anything like that. I did use Patrick's dump for Betaflight though, so I'm not going to take you through the Betaflight setup on this one. I will put a link in the below to Patrick from Iflight's dump, and yeah, it flew great with that. Now, one of the selling points of this guy is they are saying that without this camera and a naked GoPro light, it weighs under 250 grams, but I'm going to be very surprised to see that. So that is 144 grams like this, and I found that it flew the best with an 850 mAh battery. Great flight time with that. I think it was over 4 minutes with that one. I think you're going to get a very short flight time with a 650 milliamp 4S, but let's see what that is. So 224 already. So if I add like a naked GoPro 8, which they are saying, it's going to be over, isn't it? It's going to be over. That's 254. So I don't know. You could maybe get it down to 250 grams, but definitely not with this Go camera. So let's see how much it weighs with the Go camera. I'll just put that in there. So that's 264. So I mean, this Go camera, I mean, you know, it comes with its own mount. So anything that has the Beta FPV type mount, then it can go on there. I didn't get great results out of this with this model. I think it's probably because I didn't use the included ND filters, but you can see the flight of this later. I'll talk more about this camera in a bit, but yeah, this mount that the entire camera is on, so this is the digital version, there's an analog version as well, but I'm never a fan of when they mount the camera in TPU and there's nothing underneath. So the entire camera and also the entire mount can bend really easily. Now, it's nice to have a little bit of flex for these stabilized cameras, but that's too much flex in my opinion. So yeah, I got some jello with this camera on this mount, but it was sunny, so it probably needed an ND filter, which I'll get onto a little bit later. So we have got the Nazgul 2525 props, and the motors are the Zing 5500 kV. The flight controller, it's an all-in-one flight controller, the Success D Whoop, and it supports actually up to a 6S, but this is definitely a 4S model with these motors for sure, and it's rated up to 20 amp, so that should be fine. You can access the USB port here. They actually provide you with a 3D printed battery mount, but because I was trying different batteries and things, I ended up just using the strap. The strap is fine, but it covers up the USB port. You're also given one of these 90-degree, actually USB Type-C, because you can reach this one with a normal USB lead, but the Cadex Vista, which is hidden under there, you need the 90-degree to get to the USB port. Just under there, you can just about reach it, and you can just about reach the bind button as well. The frame here, it's like carbon fiber, but without the weave. It feels really strong. These are like a plastic material, but they're sort of like the honeycomb shape, so you know, it's actually a stronger shape. So yeah, I think this one is going to be durable over time. This is the DJI Bind and Fly version, but yeah, the other versions as well, if it takes your interest. Link in the video description. Again, a little stubby antenna, so you know, if the battery gets in the way, you might have range issues if you're going really far with it, although I have to say I didn't. Couple of LEDs on the back here, and you weren't given the screw here, so I've just used like a plastic screw, so you know, maybe that didn't help with the jello situation, but hey, you know, you get one of these things, yeah, you're gonna have to source your own screw. But let's see what you do get in the box. This is actually a different frame, I think. You can get it in two different colours. So this sort of turquoise colour. But I quite like this one, a little bit more stealth. This is the box that it comes in. You are given some screws, but none of them like fit the mount here. USB cable, a spare set of those 25 props. This is for going around the outside, you know, a little bit of a cushion, battery strap, and yes, Cadex Vista manual, and you know, be responsible, and stickers, and it tells you the props configuration. So it's actually props out. Let's see if that's right. Yeah, props out. Yeah, so just your usual stuff that you get when you buy an Iflight product. So the GoCam, it doesn't really need its own video because it's the same as the SMO camera. In here is an Insta360 1R. There are really just two differences which might interest you. The first one is that the lens is removable. One of the complaints of the SMO cameras and all of these naked cameras really is how durable are they? And the answer is usually, well, not very, because you know, we are taking them apart. But with this one, you can replace the lens, and this is the box that it comes in. We've got ND filters as well that go over there, which I should have used, but never mind. If you guys want me to try that with the ND filters, then let me know. But I think the mounting system was really the problem when it came to this. I just think, you know, it's a slightly bigger camera than the SMO camera, so I think it's got more inertia to it. So let's weigh it actually and see how much it weighs. The lights are blasting out my scale. It is 40.5 grams, and I think it's thicker because originally I think it was going to have either its own battery or you can power it separately, but if I look down here, it's blank, and it doesn't come with a battery either. So They've got another one of these cameras which has got RunCam internals, and that one does have its own battery, so I think perhaps they've tried to just reuse the case. A bit of a lazy design, unless I've got that wrong there, and I can't see any way that a battery could plug into this. Also, it doesn't fit into the included mount. So this is the included mount, which I've already put on this model. And yeah, it won't go on there unless you've got this back bit on. It looks really cheap and nasty, but you know, we know that it can perform well because the SMO camera performs great. So just got these little added features. So that's the first one. The second one is they give you this lead, and you can power it either off your model and control it just like you can with the SMO camera, but you can also power it up from the balance port of a 4 to 6S LiPo. So I like that actually. It means that, you know, you can transfer it between models. You can put it on models that don't necessarily have the wiring for it, but you still need this mount, which it does come with. You know, I like that it does come with a mount. It comes set up in 4K 60 FPS, which is no good. If you saw my SMO review, the 60 FPS 4K setting on here greatly reduces the field of view to the point where I don't think it's worth using. So 4K 30 is the setting that you're going to want to have. And sadly, it's the same all down the other resolutions as well. So any 60 FPS resolution, it crops it down. So best going with 4K 30, and then you can use their wide FPV option to get sort of like a real steady go kind of look. You use the Insta360 app for the One R, and you have to make sure that you connect to it via Wi-Fi on your phone. Otherwise, if you try to connect to it the normal way, like you would a 1R, it'll give you a message saying please acknowledge on the screen, and well, there's no screen. So yeah, I think the password is 8 number 8s, so connect your phone directly to it, and then you'll be able to connect to the camera and change the settings. There are actually a couple of new options in the Insta360 Studio which now allows for horizon lock, but because this isn't like a 180 camera or anything like that, it really crops the field of view. So again, I don't think horizon lock is really usable. Personally, if you are using this camera for that kind of stuff, just don't do any rolls and use the normal stabilization and it will look really nice. But yeah, horizon lock option, just going to be really zoomed in, but it's there if you want to try it. They've also included this little mini extension cable. I wonder if that's because it's quite difficult to get in and out. You sort of have to pull on the wires. Oh, this is pretty cool as well, although I can see this getting lost. But it's like a little hatch for your micro SD card. There's other cutouts there as well. I imagine that's for the RunCam version. But I thought that was cool. So you don't lose your SD card in a crash, but you might end up losing this. Alrighty, let's go for an FPV flight with this guy. Oh, it's so windy today. Look at the trees blowing. I'm having to fly with sort of a constant left in. Going to be difficult for the camera on top. So straight away I'm seeing jello through the Cadex camera. That doesn't really surprise me because of the TPU mount, and there's no support underneath it. It's a shame about the wind here today because I could get through some pretty tight gaps, but not while the wind's blowing like this. Let's go for a dive. Ah! Yes, that wind is blowing me straight into the trees. Okay, let's go and fly around this. You see that? It tried to push me into that lamppost there. So trying to do sort of like an orbit, very difficult. Okay. Let's see if I can get under these tables. Yeah, the wind is just pushing it like crazy. Oh, oh. I thought I was going to get sucked in then. But yeah, I feel fairly confident with this guy to do a bit of acro with it. Now let's go down here. Phil is fine with me at the moment. And he says that there's less wind down here. Oh, definitely true. Knowing my luck, like, I get some sort of crazy whirlpool going on and get stuck in that. This is a great location for cinewhooping, but yeah, it's challenging when it's this windy. There's Phil, look at him. Yeah, no problem doing acro with this guy, although I have to say, you know, to try and kind of keep it slow to stay in this small area, I'm not giving it a huge amount of throttle, therefore we don't have like massive descents or as massive descents to, you know, cause that yaw washout. But this is exactly what a cinewhoop is for, you know, it's for these intricate places rather than flying in a big field. It's nice to fly in a big field with them, but you know, if you try and do normal acro with them, they're not that fun. This guy it's surviving around here. Oh, tiny gap. Yeah, we've got some tiny gaps down here. I think you freestyle guys would love it around here. Lots of objects to avoid, or should I say, try and avoid. Yeah, it's in its element here. It's kind of funny, you know, because like I looked at this guy's like, oh, just another cinewhoop, but when you fly them around this place, it's pretty special. No, I'm not going to fly through the basketball hoop. Not this time. Learned my lesson in the past doing that. Okay, so we're down to 13 volts. That's a 4.5 minute flight time. Let's come in for a landing. See if I can get it on the table.